Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue au Pendu dans le Cercle de Lune. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, then you probably already know that this is my series in which I use Cercle de Lune adjacent, and antique Italian decks to help me unpack a central message from my larger spread. And my larger spread that I'm doing these days, I'm taking about a year deep dive into the Thoth deck, the deck created by Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And so I've got a large spread that I'm working with. I call it my elemental spread. And I have the need of a little bit of help getting a central message, a more concise message, a more concise message from the larger spread. So what I do is I use my Cercle de Lune adjacent, or antique Italian decks to give me a 3-card, or sometimes it grows to 4 or 5 card reading to give me, like I said, a concise message. And these days I've added an oracle card to my Cercle de Lune readings. So if you are against that and think it's anathema, maybe you should stop watching now. If you continue watching, let me first say thank you for hitting the thumbs up button and for subscribing if you haven't subscribed. It really does help the channel, and hitting the alarm bell also helps you get notifications of when I upload videos. So there's that. Thank you for doing all of those things. I really, really do appreciate it. But this week's larger spread, if you have not seen it, I highly recommend going to see it. And so I'll put a card up here for you to hop on over and take a look at that so you understand the platform from which this spread is leaping. And it was a very, very interesting reading, a really interesting spread. And there are some interesting echoes from that spread to this one. So I do recommend seeing it, just in case you have seen it. And remember, the larger videos, you don't have to watch at one time. You can watch them in pieces. You can watch 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there at your leisure. So just in case you did watch it in pieces and you'd like a little bit of a refresher course on that larger spread, the title of the spread was Work Out of Sorrow. And the central card was the 3 of Swords from the Harris Crowley deck. And the primary keyword that I have inscribed in my brain for that card is Weltschmerz, which is a German word which means world sorrow, or I'm sorry, world pain. It's the melancholy we feel when the world isn't the way we think it should be or it could be. World weariness, world pain. But right next to that card, there was the 3 of Discs, which gave us the idea that maybe we could work our way out of that pain. So Work Out of Sorrow was the title of the video. But even that asked for a little bit of parsing, because sometimes if we were to try to distract ourselves from our Weltschmerz, from our pain, our sorrow, and we were to try to cover it all up, to hide it with our work, that eventually can become a very large problem. On the other hand, if we recognize our Weltschmerz, if we are able to fully see the psycho-emotional basis within which we are operating, and then use our work to help elevate us from within that, that's an entirely different thing. That's a healing process. That's a process of evolution and growth. And within that, we can discover our own our passions. We can discover a new passion. We can discover a new opportunity within that conflict, that disparate state of of earth and air being elementally discordant elements, right? Yeah, earth and air are ill-dignified. They fight against each other. And within that fighting with each other, that conflict, something new can emerge. And something new emerging was also part of the wrap-up advice from my 2 oracle cards, if you recall. So there's a lot within that one large reading that was, I think, interesting, deep, and provocative. And so I pulled a 3-card spread, and it really was only 3 cards, plus an oracle card. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the question I ask every week, all typed out nice and pretty. Then I'll show you the cards, and we'll start talking about them. Are you ready? Here we go. Friends, what did you think of those cards? Do you know them? This is a mass-produced reproduction of the 1930 Terre de Marseille by Grimaud. And the name of the deck is called Vieux Monde Express 1930 Terre de Marseille. And I think I ordered mine from France, but you might be able to get a copy from US Amazon as well. It's a little bit pricey. It would probably run you about $40 US, maybe. I'm not really sure of the price offhand, but I will put a link in the description box below. So if you want to purchase this deck, you can. The colors are wonderful. It's basically a convert deck, I believe, that Grimaud, who is the major publisher of Terre de Marseille decks, mass market, especially in the early 1900s and late 1800s. The interesting thing about this particular printing that was reproduced is that the yellows are very rich, dark gold instead of yellow. The colors are very rich, deep colors. I love the coloration of this deck. The backs of the deck are very, very simple navy blue. Now, the sun has slipped behind clouds now, so I don't know how well you can see the black backs, but they're just really plain one color navy slate, more like a dark slate blue, maybe a dark steel blue with a hint of navy mixed in. They're simple. I like the color, but the fronts are really the name of the game, right? The images are just lovely. And you saw from left to right we had card 13, and then the 6 of Swords, and then the 6 of Wands, which is interesting because the larger spread was based on 3s, to me. Yeah, we had 2 3s, 3 of wands, the 3 of discs, the 3 of swords, and then we had the 9 of swords twice, so 3 times 3, and then 3 divided by 3 is 1, and we had the ace of wands, right? There was a lot of 3 to me in the larger spread, and so we have 2 6s here. 3 times 2 is 6, right? 3 plus 3 is 6. So another strong pointing towards 3s, which are creation, right? They are 1 plus 1 equals 3. You know what I mean? Where the 2 come together and form the 3rd. So this is just a wonderful, wonderful week of spreads, I think. And again, we started off with what some people would call the death card. I do not call it the death card. This is card 13, the nameless card. Just as like the Fool is the numberless card. This is card 13. You see I don't know if you can see it clearly now, but the rich gold color of the bones is just phenomenal. It's wonderful. And card 13 is change, ending cycles, profound transformation, right? Eliminating that which blocks us. It's also the end of an illusion. Yeah, Weltschmerz can actually be due to an illusion of what we think we see. It can also be revolution, which is interesting because the first of the 2 I Ching oracle cards that appeared for the advice part of the spread was hexagram 49, which is revolution. So this card being revolutionary makes perfect sense. It can also be harvesting, cleansing, keeping only the essential. Yeah. After you harvest the grain, you sift the shaft from the grain, right? You harvest your wheat and you sift it so that you keep only the grain and the shaft gets blown away in the wind, right? It could be that. It could also be the eradication of the old to make way for the new, which is good. Some people see suffering and decline here, but I think the idea of change and ending a cycle and profound transformation is actually the significance that is most in line with this week's larger spread. So that's where we are going, and that's where we begin, because you saw that that card 13 was looking in the direction of the 2 6s, right? So that's the direction we're going to read this spread. The skeleton on card 13 is facing the 2 6s, the 6 of swords and the 6 of wands, in that order. And elementally, swords and wands, air and fire, they build each other up, they strengthen each other and make each other larger. So elementally, these 3 cards are powerful. So the skeleton is looking first towards card 6 of swords. 6 of swords, which is what? Which is the beauty of thought. 6s are beauty. Think the 6th Sephiroth of the tree of life being the heart chakra, the heart of the tree of life. Beauty. Intellectual appreciation. Beauty of thought, intellectual appreciation, contemplation and reflection. Enjoying thought. Also, the enjoying thought of curiosity. What do I see? What does it mean? What is out there? What does it mean? The pleasure of thinking, the beauty of ideas. Also a playful mind, but not the same kind of playful mind as the 5. The 5 of swords is really breaking out of the box, kind of playful, extravagant, playful thinking and experimenting. This is the playful mind of a lazy summer day, maybe. And loving what we say or think. Because the 6s are also communication, right? We enjoy what we say, we enjoy what we think, we enjoy talking about what we think. And our mind becomes positive and knows finesse. There's that finesse, playful kind of way. Not the 5 playfulness of breaking out of the structure and but the playfulness of finesse and delicacy. So that's what's our revolutionary skeleton, ending illusions, is moving in the direction of and focusing on the beauty of mind first, and thoughts. Because apparently we're moving out of Weltschmerz, right? And so we're moving towards an enjoyment of thought, an enjoyment of speaking and of talking about the things that we think about. And we contemplate and we ruminate, and then we enjoy talking about those things. We're not in active disagreements or, well, I think this and you're what you think. Not that. It's the enjoyment, the playful enjoyment of talking about those things that we're thinking about. Which moves us into something more active, right? It moves us into the 6 of wands, which is the beauty of action, the beauty of creativity. Look at these beautiful wands here on this card. Yeah, these golden wands with this rich blue at the center. Just a lovely card. We enjoy what we do, and we do what we love too. We love what we do, and we do what we love. Now, it's vitality. Now, the vitality here is an echo of the 9 of wands in the Harris Crowley deck, which we got twice in this week's spread. We got the 9 of wands twice, once from 2 different decks. So here we get that again emphasized. The vitality of that Nine of Wands is here in the Six of Wands as well. There's sexuality and creativity, which is fully experienced, happy to be who we are and do what we do. And we find our own unique personal expression, which is a little different from the Five of Wands, which is that playful breaking out of the box sexually and breaking out of the box with experimenting in the world, and let's try this and let's try that and let's create this and let's try creating that. We've gotten out of the stability of the Four of Wands and we're just going to try and blah, right? This is the beauty of finding our unique personal expression and loving who we are acting as being in the world. Loving the sexual contact that we have, loving our creativity, loving our inner spiritual vitality as well. So all of those, both of the active suits are in the loving part of the tree of life. We love what we think, we love what we do, we love the communication we have verbally as well as physically, physical communication. For example, sex. And this is what the possible transformation is from our Weltschmerz. Whoops, let's do this way. Yeah, okay. So from our Weltschmerz, for the revolution to pleasure and enjoyment and beauty. And then speaking of beauty, the oracle card that we got for this spread was the mermaid. And you see this mermaid reminding us a little bit maybe of Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Having left her home in the sea, a beautiful mermaid boldly scurries across the desert to explore a world far different from her own. Resting by a stream, she gazes out over the dry landscape and wonders in awe at the gigantic pyramids in the distance. How strange and alien and beautiful it is, right? So the upright meaning for this card, according to the creator of this deck, who is Patrick Valenza of Deviant Moon, love this deck. This is the Zammer Twins Oracle. There will be a link in the description box below. According to Patrick Valenza, this is leaving one's comfort zone. Right? Ending illusions, eliminating what blocks us, revolutionary. Leaving one's comfort zone and seeking what life has to offer. Also adaptation. We were asked to adapt in the larger spread as well. It could be travel and exploration, new horizons, migration or exodus could be part of this. An incredible journey. Or we might be the ones who meet the mermaid. We might meet a stranger. But I think for the advice for this spread, those first attributes seem to be the most accurate. Leaving one's comfort zone, seeking what life has to offer, and being ready to adapt. Just like this guy or gal or dude or whatever, who faces or who looks towards, in the process of ending illusions and eliminating what blocks us, and in the process of that revolution, looks towards the beauty of thought and creativity and vital action and communication. Does that make sense to you? I think it makes sense. I think these cards here, right here, let me put them back in the order in which we saw them. I think these cards right here really do point towards the direction, the best direction. There were two possible directions I saw for the larger spread from this week. These cards point towards the happiest outcome, the best direction that we could move from that Three of Swords of Weltschmerz, from this week's larger spread. So friends, if that makes sense to you, let me know in the comments below. If it does not make sense to you, let me know in the comments below. I would really love to hear from you. And friends, if you'd like a private reading from me, my email address is in the comment box below too. Not in the comment, in the description box below too. Shoot me an email. Say, I'd like a reading. We'll get you a reading. Or you could ask about it in the comments section as well. We'll find a way for us to connect off of the YouTube platform and somewhere a little bit more private. Okay? So, friends, there we go. There you are. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. And again, thank you for hitting the thumbs up button and the subscription button too if you haven't. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.